welcome everyone to Knowledge is Power. Magandang umaga to all of our viewers who have joined us on our Facebook page as well as on Kumu. My name is Yona Lucica Signo and I'm the founder of Empowered Virtual Services Philippines. Now, knowledge is power and was created so we can share the different learnings and experiences of inspirational and distinguished personalities so that more people can learn, become inspired, and be empowered. Now, the different set of skills, knowledge, and wisdom that we have come from our years of experience or education in our certain field of expertise. And having that passion and fire to share our knowledge is the power that can drive and make this world a better place. That's why here in our show, we want to be a platform where we can take away new learnings and use them in your personal and professional lives. So start off our episode for today. Allow me to introduce our distinguished guest for this segment. Now, she's a dedicated educator whose years of experience in teaching made her exceptional in her field of expertise. She's first become an assistant professor at De La Salle University back in 2005 and taught different undergraduate programs like authentic assessment and evaluation in early childhood, social emotional development in early childhood, and a graduate program like child development and assessment creative and psychomotor skills in preschool. Now, then in 2015, she became an assistant professor at National University of Philippines while pursuing a teaching career. And she also took her master's degree on family life and child development at the University of the Philippines. Wow. Now, apart from that, she also lectures on pediatricians at Wyeth Philippines on topics like nurturing multiple intelligences of children and the 21st century learners. How amazing. So as you can imagine, this amazing individual, this amazing Filipino is, making waves in really being a part of the future, of our future, which is the children. So at present, our guest is a family life and child development specialist, a resource speaker, and a professor at San Beda College in Alabang. I'm so honored that she said yes to be our show, to share her story, and she has wonderfully demonstrated throughout her career that knowledge is powerful and can amazingly change lives. To get to know her more and how her life has changed through her passion for educating people and transforming the mindsets of children through education, I'd like you all to give a warm welcome to our guest, Katherine Claudette Tandoc. Hello, Claude. Hi, Teacher Claude.
Hi, Yona. Thank you so much for the generous introduction. Yona, I remembered some of my friends would tease me. They call me the United Colors of Benetton because of the universities where I taught. Oh, yeah, where I taught. So, there's, I stayed in La Salle for 10 years, UP for 6 years, National University, San Beda, Olivares College, and now I'm a part-time faculty member, online, of course, in Trinity University of Asia.
Oh, wow.
So they say, oh, good. You're United Colors of Benetton, all the colors of the universities.
Oh, I love that. And I think it really suits. It really does suit, because I find that, so for those who don't know, we met through the Wellbeing Boost program. And it was such a blessing for me to have been able to meet Teacher Claude, because as you can see, she's just she's shining brightly on our screen right now. And I'm so excited that you said yes today. So, oh my gosh. All right. Well, I have a few questions up my sleeve, but before we get started, I would like to play a quick game with you. Is that okay?
Sure. That's okay. I'm excited. Yeah.
Okay. So this one is guess the Filipino traditional snack. Okay.
Oh, wow. All right.
Okay. So the instructions are, I'm going to name a few attributes of this Filipino traditional snack, and you'll have to guess what snack I am describing. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's get started. So guess this Filipino traditional snack. Okay, the attributes are, this baked treat is of Spanish influence. They are soft, fluffy rolls, topped with butter, and sprinkled with sugar.
Ensaymada.
Yay!
Okay, I got nervous. Okay, I'm correct. Yay!
Yes, I was about to say they're often paired with coffee for a mid-morning snack or brunch. Oh, but you guessed it straight away. Amazing, amazing. Well, I wanted to share with everybody just a fun fact or a quick history of ensaimada. So ensaimada traces its origins to Mallorca in the Balearic Islands of Spain. In Alan Davidson's book, Oxford Companion to Food, he writes that ensaimada came from the Mallorcans' word saim, which means pork lard. But today, pork lard is no longer considered an essential component of ensaimada, but has been replaced with generous amounts of butter. So there you go. Thank you for playing this game with me, Teacher Claude.
Wow, well, is there a next one, Yona?
No more games.
Okay, good.
I wanted to just do a quick game with you. So let me just get you back up on the screen. Let's see what's happening. We've just got this amazing picture of the ensaimada. It's so distracting.
Although I had my breakfast, you made me crave for ensaimada. So I think later I'm going to order online ensaimada.
Yes, exactly. Oh well, that was lots of fun. Well, okay, so now, like I mentioned, I do have a few questions, just so that everybody can get to know you more. So, Teacher Claude, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your advocacy, and I hear that you've even starred in a movie. So please share with us.
Yeah, that was my life in the past, Yona. But okay, I'll share something about myself. So. I'm fondly called Teacher Claude by my students, both in the preschool and the college program. Children are my passion. Actually, two things: children and teaching. Those are my passion, and I believe that's my calling. So, for the best interest of the children, I also teach the future teachers, the current teachers. I teach the parents. And I even, and Yona, before the pandemic, I used to also give Yaya training or caregivers training seminars. So if you've noticed, all these groups, they are involved in the lives of young children because it's for the best interest of the children. I want that everything is consistent, but of course, I'm not a magician. In my own little way, this is how I do it. This is how I help nurturing young kids by also teaching the people that take care of them. So that's why that's why Yona, when people wonder, oh, Teacher Claude, there's such a big gap. You teach young children at the same time you teach college and graduate students. That's why I tell them, because I'm a practitioner. Although Yona, I don't get young children as actively as I used to before, I still get to teach them. Because as a consultant of many preschools, some directors and principals request me to teach like twice a month or thrice a month, so that the teachers there that I train, they see me in action. Like, this is how I do storytelling. This is how you should do transitioning. This is how you talk to children, etc. So that's what a practitioner does. That's why I teach young kids and those who will be teaching them.
Wow.
And also, I'm also from time to time, Yona, I'm also a guest in some TV shows or radio shows when it's child development or family life. As long as it's under my field of discipline, they can invite me. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. And tell me about this movie. What was this movie that you starred in?
Okay, well, I really don't know, Yona, if some of our audience will be able to remember. Well, if they are my batchmates or age mates, they will remember. I don't know if you were already born during this year. There's this movie back in the 80s, 1983, a movie was shown about teenagers. It's called Baguettes, but I wasn't there. I was in the second part. It's called
Okay.
Baguettes 2. And so I was introduced together with newcomers back then, the late Francis Magalona, the late John Hernandez Salvador, and Ramon Christopher Gutierrez. So I was a newcomer back then, and after that, I made few more. I made few more movies, but then, as you can see me now, obviously I have a different calling. I have a different passion.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, I love that. And we are so, grateful that you have, I suppose, transitioned into your other calling. And I think, really, I'm sure everybody who's watching can agree with me that your energy and there's just this vibe that comes from you that is so, it is inspiring. It's that energy that you want to learn, and so this is a reason why I asked you to be my guest, because I think I feel that there is so much for our empowered community to learn from you, and so this is super
Yes, and
exciting. Thank you.
Yona, excuse me, if just in case our Filipino audience are wondering if they get to watch Filipino movies from videos, or let's say from there's a channel that would always show old Filipino movies. So in Baguettes 2, I was partnered with JC Bonin. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I think I have there are a couple of people who may have watched you, so here we go.
Yeah.
Well, so Teacher Claude, you have been in an educator for quite some time, so more than 15 years now, I suppose I could say. Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
actually, more than for more than 25 years already.
more than 25 years. Wow. Okay. My pardon me. What was your motivation? I know your particular advocacy, it's about children, but what motivated you to pick that particular advocacy?
Yeah, all right. So at first, Yona, it wasn't part of my, when you ask little kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And, some children will say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, etc. I did not say I wanted to be a teacher. Okay. Even when I was graduating already, my undergrad, my college course is Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. And back then, I wanted to work in a corporate setting. It never entered my mind to become a teacher. But you see, Yona, I am really amazed at how things work and how, God called me to this profession. Somebody invited me to teach in a preschool because a teacher made an emergency leave. And so I said, okay, just for this time, okay? So that was January. It was almost a year that I was jobless after graduation. So I said, just for 5 months, after the summer fun program, I resigned, I left and worked in a corporate setting. But I missed the children. God placed in my heart that I am really for kids. So I studied family life and child development. And after finishing my master's, I taught in a laboratory school. Yona, you asked me what is my one motivation for teaching young children, not only young children, but for teaching their parents, their families, their teachers, actually everyone, all the people that surround them.
Yeah.
My one motivation, Yona, is that I want to be a teacher. I want to be that teacher that I was yearning for when I was a little girl.
Wow.
I wanted to be that person who will give the nurturance, the care, the kind words that I needed to hear.
Yeah.
When I was a growing girl, a growing child.
Wow.
And opposite to that, Yuna, I promised myself, I'm sure we've all had negative and sometimes sad experiences as a student, getting humiliated, getting embarrassed. We wanted to learn. We wanted to ask questions, but we were stopped. We were scolded. we were told to just keep quiet and to just obey passively your teachers, and whatever the old people tell you, just say yes. We were trained to be that way, to be passive learners, but that's not learning. You see, children especially are active learners.
Yeah.
We're supposed to nurture their critical thinking skills, not make them passive learners. Yes, teacher, opo, hindi po, opo. And after that, what? Have we enhanced higher order thinking skills by doing that? No. I want to be, so probably, Yona, to capsulize it, the teacher that I needed, the teacher that I was yearning for, every day I want to be like that.
Yes.
I want to be that kind of teacher for my students, both young children and the adult learners.
Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. I think, in terms of how we as human beings, as individuals, we all have experiences, full stop. We've all got, things that we have experienced from our past that has formed how we are today. And I think one of the important messages that I've taken from what you've just beautifully shared is that we could also use any experience, be it good or bad, to also be able to make changes, for the better, so that not only do we empower ourselves to be a better person, but we are then able to guide others to be better individuals as well, right? And that's why I've absolutely love, because for me as well, like for what I'm advocating, it's really about that empowerment of each other, because I think it's one of those things that empowerment of people and raising them to higher levels, or being encouraging them to be their best selves, it's reciprocal. When you empower yourself, you're able to empower others. When you empower others, you're able to empower yourself. And I just love what you've said. And I think, as a family life and child development specialist, and like you've said, you are able to work with all of the different individuals who have a part in influencing a child, right? What are the three? I mean, I know this may be like a very small number, or maybe you may not need too many, but what are the three important things that you've learned, as a person, an educator throughout the years of your teaching experiences, in terms of like how we're able to really be a better adult, so that we're able to then, nurture our children?
Yes, that's right, Yona. Well, first, you mentioned it actually already. We convert I don't think there's a single person who can say that, I'd have a super duper happy, perfect childhood. Yeah. I don't think so. I think once or twice or more than that, we've had experiences that until now, they're inside our hearts, our minds. And I know that we've been praying and yearning for healing. Of course, not the physical healing, but the healing of the emotional wounds. But you see, there's no magic here. It will take time. This is a journey. Okay? It doesn't work overnight. It's a journey, so that some of the wounds are still there. Some of the wounds are healed already. But I'd like to make mention, okay? Where do these wounds come from? From many things. From hurtful, ugly situations, from verbal abuse, like labeling, the inappropriate words that we heard growing up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say this, but culturally speaking, especially Pinoys, okay, it really happens. For example, we just wake the child up. Pardon my terms. Oy, bangon na, batugan talaga, tamad. You just want to wake him up you already blurt out a lot of words that are really, really unnecessary.
True.
But here goes. We know that physical wounds, they get to heal, and some of them fast. But the words we say, once a child hears it, it's here and it's here. So, like me, Yona, I'm old already. I'm 52 years old. But when I, revisit, and from time to time, it really, I really feel like I'm that little girl again, or probably that grade school girl or that high school girl. And some of the wounds are probably they're in the process of healing, but because it's deep seated, it's still there. And I make sure, okay, I work on it by the grace of God and by the many things that I'm doing. Like, Yona, that I have attended the Well-Being Boost program, and it helped me a lot. Through these things, I'm hoping that my journey in healing will take place, so that, because this is my desire, Yona, I don't want to be that kind of parent, because I have experienced that. And although we keep saying, those listening here, I know that we have the tendency to say, pag magulang na ako, hindi ko uulitin yon. Right. Easier said than done. Why? Because there really is no manual or, when we become parents, we're surprised. Parent na ako. And what do you take with you? Ano yung baon natin? It's how we were raised. Yeah. It is how we were trained, we were disciplined, and that one I even have to quote unquote, because I really don't know. Many people have their own definition of what discipline is. Why? It's how they were disciplined.
Yeah.
So when we ask parents, what enters your mind when you hear the word discipline? Wow, Yona, I get various answers. Others will say, pinaluho. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Yona. Pinaluhod sa mongo seeds. Others will say, pinalo, binitin, or whatever. It's mostly, they're my batchmates. And the one thing that I'm not comfortable, Yona, and I feel bad, is that a lot of my age mates take pride in, they're making yabang pa na, kaya yung mga kabataan ngayon wala na silang respeto, dapat ibalik yung dati, yung kagaya namin na ganito. Tingnan niyo, maayos kami. I hope you're listening right now, the people who are saying this. By saying that maayos kayo and you are taking pride in what you have experienced, well, I'm saying that something is not right. Hindi dapat ipagmayabang yung pinahiya ka, yung sinaktan ka. Okay, I don't, Yona, I really don't want to enter into an argument to spank or not to spank. But, okay, ito na lang, Yona, yung tanong ko those who are listening. In your workplace, let's say you did something, it was not intentional. You did it probably once, maybe twice, okay? Because, we don't get it right. We don't get it at one, let's say, teaching. Is it okay with you if your boss will come up to you and say, Yona, I told you not to do it, or probably slap you, or gave you a really heavy scolding in front of your peer group? Well, would you be proud to say, okay talaga ako, natuto ako? Excuse me, I'm sure you say that. Then what right do we have to do that to our children? So I'm going back, haba na ng answer ko kay Yona.
Okay.
That's one learning that I have attained, Yona, that I have to be humble enough as a parent to learn every day, to learn most especially from my children, to learn from the different programs like the Well-Being Boost, to learn from colleagues of mine, those who are in their senior already. We never stop learning. And it brings me to my second the thing that I have learned. What is that? I'm sorry for being redundant.
It's okay.
Learning should never stop. See,
Yeah.
the title of our program today, Knowledge is Power. So, everyone, learning should never stop. We learn
Amen.
every day. The pandemic could not stop us from learning. We don't have an excuse. Everything is online now. You have books in your houses, hard copy. You have the online thing.
Yeah.
Read every day. Even just one chapter, half a page, or nuggets. Read lots of
Yeah.
nuggets. The important thing is never stop learning. Like watch these types of program, like what we have now with Yona. And even just one concept, one point. I'm sure after today you will learn something.
Yeah. I agree.
Do not stop, because Yona, I have also observed that, especially when I was a young faculty member, and we would give lectures to seasoned teachers. Back in UP, Yona, we would give early childhood education seminar workshops every summer. And so the Department of Education would send their teachers, a lot of them from the province, would send their teachers for training. I was a young faculty then. I was single, a new teacher, a young faculty, but I already taught the college and the graduate program. So I was tapped as one of the speakers. So we did this every summer. And the one thing, Yona, that, okay, forgive me I'm sorry if I would step on a lot of toes. I'm sorry, but this is really what's happening, even until now. When the audience, Yona, sees that you are a young teacher, and in their mind, okay, yung mga nakikinig, alam yung kasabihan na to, yung expression na to, ay, nako, Ineng, papunta ka pa lang, pabalik na ako. Of course, I didn't hear it from them, but if only looks can speak, that is exactly what they're saying. They look at me up and down, and I don't even know if they were listening, because a lot of them, especially in the last row, they were eating. Some of them were sleeping. I'm sorry, I have to say this. And, Yona, I also understand that many of them are there for the certificate, because the certificate, after finishing the seminar or training, will surely give them plus points or promotion. Okay? So I was brokenhearted, but I learned that there are people like that, and so I'm telling you right now, I hope we don't develop that kind of attitude. Papunta ka pa lang, pabalik na ako. Why? Because you will be stagnant. When you have that mindset, it means that you know everything and you don't need to learn.
Yeah.
That's not really good. Why?
Yeah.
You will stop learning when you have that mindset.
Wow. I think you've touched on so many important points there. For me, I think everything that you've shared, it really has been through the journey of experience.
Yeah, yes.
I think my question would be for you, just to follow on from what you've shared, if I may. What gave you the courage, or what gave you the courage to recognize that these are the things that have happened in the past, and you want to make a change now, so that your future interactions, your current interactions, won't repeat those things? Because it takes a lot of courage, because a lot of people will say, oh, that's what's happened. That's what's happened. That's all I know. Right. And that must be right. But what gave you the courage to change that? Because I think for people who are recognizing there are things in their life that they want to change, but they don't know how, perhaps you're able to impart some things with them that will give them the courage also.
Yes. What gave me the courage, Yona, I believe it's the people themselves, my students, my adult learner students who have been sharing with me their experiences at home, not only at home, but their experiences as students when they were young, how they were humiliated by their teachers, how they were called names that, how they were labeled. I couldn't even mention the labels here because it would be inappropriate, but I'm sure you know those things. And that's why, Yona, it's so difficult when, to give lectures or discussions about, instead of having a fixed mindset, we develop our growth mindset. It's so difficult. It's a struggle. Why? Because the fixed mindset is already there. They keep saying, but Miss Claude, ganito na talaga ako eh. Pero Miss Claude, mahina talaga yung utak ko eh. Yun ang sinabi ng mama ko eh. Can you imagine that, Yona? I mean, coming from a parent. So that child, even though she's an adult already, she has this fixed mindset that whatever she does, hindi na siya mag-i-improve because the mother herself told her, mahina ka talaga anak, wala kang utak. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
So, all these things, Yona, it keeps me motivated to, you ask me what gives me the courage, because if I keep quiet, then who will be teaching these things? I know a lot of my colleagues are doing this also.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank them. They are my models, actually. And I hold hands with them to be one in this advocacy, to say these things. Yona, one thing also that keeps me motivated and gives me the courage are the parents themselves who are my audience in a lot of my discussion. Like 2 weeks ago, the topic was about nurturing social emotional learning with your kids, because the kids now are at home, whether doing online schooling or homeschooling. The learning environment is actually the home. So I don't know, but eventually in my topic, I talked about how we talk to children. Mostly we scream. When we lose our patience, we become monsters. Because there are so many triggers. Also, I understand. I'm a parent also, and I'm not perfect. And many times, Yona, I have become a monster mom. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm a mom of 2 little ones, 4 and 2. So as you can imagine, there are you know how I'm feeling.
Yeah, right. Many times we lose it. Because that's our being human. See.
Yeah.
But you see, somebody has to stand up and say stop. That somebody, Yona, will come from, at a certain time, at a certain generation, somebody has to stand and say stop. If not, this continues. It will continue. The children that we are parenting right now, what can we expect? When we lose it, when we become monster mommies every now and then, or monster daddies, they will be parents in the future. Can you picture it now? The cycle continues. And Yona, when we point fingers, I'm like this kasi ganito, sinigawan ako, sinaktan ako ni mama, ni papa, blah, blah, blah. But you see, why did they become like that? That's how they were raised. This is what I'm saying. It's a generational thing. That's why I said earlier, somebody, and I think that's you, all of you who are listening right now, somebody has to stand and say, okay, let's get this straight, let's get this right. Okay? I'm not talking about perfection, but I'm talking about owning it, okay? Owning your story, meaning accepting it, identifying it, sit with it. I learned that from teacher Michelle, okay? Sit with it. Because if if you deny it, well, it's just there. You're just putting Band-Aid, but it's there. Believe
That's
me,
true.
okay?
That's true.
Accept it, identify it, then work with it. Go
Hmm.
through it. The healing process will be painful. It's okay. Go through it. If we really want to put a stop to this to to this generational thing, and look at
Hmm.
our children, envision them as future parents. How would you like them to treat your future apos?
Yeah.
Eh? Kasi pag
Yeah.
hindi pa ulit-ulit lang to eh.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. And I mean, we're in different, of course, in different family dynamics. But there are families where the apos are being taken care of by their lola and lolo, and so that generational, how that the learnings or the experiences, it goes from lolo and lola directly to the apo, diba? And so
Yes.
sometimes there's that clear, handing off of, potentially um, that experience that we were talking about from the past, and it gets directly
Actually,
brought
yeah.
on.
You know, Yona, I'd like to share. I grew up under the care of my maternal grandmother.
Okay.
I was 4 years old when I was brought to the province, Bacolod City. That's where I grew up. I'm
Okay.
an Ilongga. Uh, because my mom had to work. But by the way, Yona, my mom is an actress, and my parents separated when I was, I think, one a year old or a toddler. So she had to bring me to the province because she had to work in Manila. That was my life from preschool up to grade 6. I would see her every time it's September, it's my birthday, and Christmas she goes home, and then every summer all cousins, including me, would go to Manila. Okay, and then high school I went to Manila. But Yona, when people say, you are spoiled kasi laki sa lola. Not all. As you mentioned, there would be different dynamics in the family.
Yeah.
When we look at
Exactly.
family dynamics, in fact, Yona, my lola, although she just finished high school, she was so much into training early childhood. She provided. I was a little girl, and Lola had no background of early childhood education. But I really would say that I'm grateful for the years that I spent with her. My Lola was my first very great storyteller. Right now, that's how I think that she's one of the big reasons why I enjoy and I enjoy being an early childhood teacher. I enjoy doing storytelling. Uh, my early years, my early years were surrounded by authentic play. That's because of my Lola. You know,
Oh,
Yona, she would, together with my cousins, my Lola would gather 4 chairs and then would get a bed sheet or a blanket, tie them
yeah.
there, and it's going to be our tent or our house. Okay?
Yes.
Because Lola owns a tailoring, she would have these fringes, the things the stuff
Yeah.
that would hang under the banner, the
Yeah.
banner that says congratulations, etc. She had lots of those. I mean, sacks of them. She would give me those and then give me a bilao. Oh, Claudette, itinda mo na yung pansit mo. That's how I learned. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yuna, that's how I learned my math, the value of money. She would cut out pieces of paper and put 10 pesos or 20 pesos. You see, Yona, that's against my experience in math and school, where
Hmm.
I got embarrassed. And so uh, that's my history. I started to fear math. I started to At some point I hated mathematics because
Hmm.
my second grade teacher told me, "Nagtatanong ka na naman?"
Mm.
And then Yona, I don't know if I can say this, but I think a lot of people who are watching maybe can relate to me. She said, she said in the vernacular, Bacolod City, so Ilonggo, like something like, "Am I stupid? Are
Mm.
you?" She said it in Ilonggo. kanina pa ako nagsasalita dito, hindi ka nakikinig. And, that 8-year-old girl, I couldn't process, because she told me, she told the whole class, if you have questions, ask me now. So I asked. And then at that time, 49 of my classmates were watching because we were 50 in the class. I bowed down, and this part was really painful. I was controlling myself from crying, but something stuck in my mind, Yona. I sort of promised myself that I'm not going to ask anymore. And you see, the sad part, Yona, is that I am old already now. Okay. When I attend something that's related to mathematics, like a workshop or a seminar of IT, information technology, or computer, I'm not a techie person, Yona. I was about to tell Easy that earlier, that I cannot do the chat box because I will panic.
It's okay.
You just the questions, because if I might press the wrong button and I won't see you anymore. So, but anyway, Yona, technology is closely related to math. So when I attend those seminars, I just sit there passively. And when the facilitator says, "Do you have questions? Do you have queries?" I just stay there. Why? I don't even know what to ask. Why? Because I didn't understand the thing. Again, why? Something is blocking. It's that experience.
Yeah.
In second grade.
Wow.
See how that affects a person? That's one motivation, Yona. You asked me what gives me courage? Those experiences. Because I know until now there are people who had the same experience as mine. Maybe not exactly, but along that line.
Yeah. No, that's thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know, like you mentioned, there are still wounds that are healing. And so I am grateful for being vulnerable and sharing that, those stories with me. And yes, it is important for us to talk about these things. And this is, Teacher Claude, your advocacy and how you are as an individual, how you are as a human being. This is one of the reasons why I started EVS. This is one of the reasons, it's one of the reasons why I started the EVS shows. Because I also believe that we need to talk about these things. We need to talk about these things in a respectful way so that we're able to share how we're able to heal. We're able to share our experiences, whether it's from before or yesterday or today, but we're able to share these experiences to help empower others so that they too can learn. And I think, you spoke about how it's so important for us to speak to children in this certain way. And yes, I 100% agree. But may I add, Teacher Claude, it is important for us as adults to be speaking to each other this way, because these children watch us. These children, look at us and they see us, and we generally, what happens is that they will mimic what we do. They will mirror what we do. So if we speak to other adults in a disrespectful way, they will think that that's actually normal. And they'll carry that on. And
you're so right, Yona.
Go ahead. Yeah, and it's just one of those things that, if we want to be able to raise these children to be, I guess you could say better versions of ourselves, to be, to be that growth seeker in them, we need to demonstrate and lead by example. Right, Teacher Claude? We need to be the ones to really to be that for them. And I think, what you mentioned with regards to information technology, and you did say that this was an area of, I guess you could say it's your area of development, of further development, right? We could call it that. But the thing is, what I love about you is that whilst this is not a topic that you're not comfortable with, I mean, information technology, you still attended the workshop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because I think for people, they'll go, oh, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable. Maybe I won't watch it. I won't attend the workshop because it's I don't know that topic, But I love that you actually still attended it because you wanted to learn, even if it was just a little bit. But it's that continuous learning, that love for learning, and that love for learning that you're advocating as well. I mean, there's so many important things that you taught us, Tisha Claude, and I'm a little bit lost for words, but at the same time, I'm just like, there is so much that we can learn from you.
Yona, I have a confession to make because I just feel guilty when you said that, Teacher Claude, you attended because you wanted to learn. Okay, I have a confession to make. That was many years ago, back in De La Salle University. Faculty members were required. Faculty members were required. It was compulsory for us to attend because, back then, Yona, there was no pandemic yet. That was many years ago. But in La Salle, we were already doing it. The teachers have a choice. We had a choice whether we can do the traditional classes or what we call the hybrid classes. So there was no pandemic yet. Hybrid classes would be during the whole term or semester, 50% of the time the teacher can meet with a class inside the classroom, and 50% will be hybrid. So it's either synchronous or asynchronous. Okay.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to do that, everyone, we were all required to. So this is my confession, Yona. I realized, and I also tell this to the other teachers, not just the teachers, but all who are attending seminars only for point system or promotion. Okay? Of course, it would really be great if we're attending because we want to learn. And it's another thing when we're there. Yona, I have a collection of certificates because of that requirement. It was not a one-shot deal. It was a series of seminars. I kept them, the certificates. Did I learn anything? No. I'm confessing now, okay? But Yona, when because we mature and we learn, and because I decided to have this attitude of being open to learning. So now I really learn. I learned from my daughter. She's 21 years old, and my son is 16 going 17. They're my teachers in a way when it comes to technology. So like my daughter will say, Mom, don't panic. Okay, what is it that you would like to learn? Sometimes I also tell them, can you teach me like step by step? Because like when you do it for me, I when I panic and I go, nawala, where am I? Nabura ko, na-delete. And then they get the gadget and they go, there you go, Mom, it's okay. And I said, yeah, thank you, but I didn't learn a thing because you did it for me. I really would appreciate it if you do it with Mama step by step. To be patient with Mama, please. So yeah. So and also, Yona, you were saying something earlier about we have to be good examples because the kids are watching. I just have this to say. I feel sad for some parents who take pride in what they're doing, and they tell me, "Oh, Claude, I just tell them na, especially Yona, the older ones. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm referring to age. Those who are, the lolos, some of the lolas. Hindi, ganito na talaga kami eh. Basta, sundin nyo lang yung sinasabi namin, wag yung ginagawa namin. Hello, excuse me. Do you know what you have? You will have confused children.
Yeah.
That cannot be. And there's a theory to that. Yona, I don't want to be like a professor now lecturing, but Albert Bandura, social learning theory. If I put it in a nutshell, learning, it's learning by modeling or learning through imitation. It's really what we do. There's a natural tendency for kids to follow it.
Mhm.
And because of that, Yona, it also brings me to something that I would like to share. Dear parents, when we think that, nagkamali tayo, uh, then let's apologize. Let's
Mhm.
be humble enough to apologize. Yes, to our children. I know it's difficult. Meron tayong ego, parent, may pride tayo. Magulang ako. Okay? Walang mawawala. And if there's something to gain, it's the connection. It's the respect. Okay? Anak, sorry sa area na yan, nagkamali ako. Just apologize.
Wow, that's amazing. That is so powerful, and everything that we have spoken about is really powerful, because the thing is, this is something that occurs in the different family dynamics, but culturally, it is something that is rampant in our particular culture. Because of the, I suppose the generational learnings, demonstrations, and things that just gets picked up along the way. So I think for me, it's, we had a quick discussion about this, that perhaps it was right at the time for our parents or our grandparents, depending on their circumstance or depending on the situation of that particular year or date that they were doing this. But it does not mean that it still is relevant to how we parent today. So it's it's I think it's one of those things that when we are actually faced with those history or memories, we also think, how does that make me a person? How does that make me the person I am today? And then how does that make me be the person I want to be for tomorrow?
Yeah.
So I think it's so important for us to really face these things, be courageous and brave to face what we have experienced in the past, accept that it has happened, sit with it and feel it. Because without sitting and feeling it, we are able to then heal through it, and we can choose to then be the best version of ourselves. And I am so super grateful for this conversation, for our topic, for this, because I think this, you mentioned it was something that you advocate for those for children and anybody who has an influence with children. But I really do believe that this particular topic is really something that we all can, that it resonates with each and every one of us, even as adults. And this is something that we can apply to both our personal and professional life, right, Teacher Claude? This isn't
That's
just
correct.
something, not just something as a parent, but it is something that we can apply to the different aspects of our life. And I'm so thankful and grateful. And I'm not too sure, but if you can believe it, but we've almost been talking for an hour. Can you believe that?
Oh wow! For an hour already. Your program, Yona, is only for an hour.
No, well, it can be for as long as we want it, but I respect your time, and I know you've got quite an afternoon ahead of you, so I want to just say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and for taking the time for sharing us your experiences and words of wisdom. It is a powerful conversation, and I really love being able to have that with you. I'm so happy that you were here, part of Knowledge is Power. And thank you again, Teacher Claude. And I hope to see you again soon. Was there
Yeah.
anything you wanted to, share with us just before you go?
Yes. You're welcome, Yona, and thank you also for having me here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's really my hope and prayer that through time, healing will take place for everyone. And also, Yona, I hope that this will not be the first and last time that I will be guest in your show.
Yeah.
I already have a topic for the next time that you will invite me. It's one of my
Yes.
advocacies.
Yeah.
It's I really have strong feelings for this. It's about mental health awareness. I'm an advocate for mental health awareness. A lot
Yeah.
of people now are struggling, especially the age group that's those who are in the teenage years,
Yeah.
and um, I'm an advocate for that. So I'm really willing to
Yes.
share
Yes.
things about mental health awareness and what should we do if it's us, or probably if it's a friend or a colleague or a relative. How should we respond so
Mm-hmm.
that we because Yona, until now there's a stigma, and this we have to overcome this
Yeah.
stigma
Yeah.
if we have to win over the mental health issue that we
Yeah.
are experiencing right now.
No, 100%. And Teacher Claude, of course, I would be more than happy, and it would be my honor if you came onto our show again. And I think these are the types of topics, and these are the types of issues, and things that we need to speak about, because it's not something that we should be putting under the carpet. It is something that we need to be speaking about freely in a open, non-judgmental way, and just so that we're able to help each other. Everybody can help each other. Really, at the end of the day, when we empower others, right, Teacher Claude, we empower
That's
ourselves.
the
And
power.
I think that is really one of the things that we are both passionate about. And so I would love to do that. So I'll coordinate with
Yay!
you. I will coordinate with you offline when our next it might be that you're going to be a regular on my show.
That would be wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Teacher Claude. And yes, I will be seeing you very, very soon. Thank you so much. I'll see you again.
Thank you, Yona. Everyone, thank you.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Wow, everybody. I hope you're all inspired and empowered by our amazing guest, Teacher Claude. There were so many important things. She's clearly demonstrated that when knowledge is paired with life experiences, as well as that dedication for your advocacy or your passion, you can create that spark of change. And change is not only how we think, but changes in how we act. And that itself is a power that can hold to make this world a better place. So, we all have a choice. So let me just say that again. We have a choice. We have a choice whether we want to be better. So we need to choose to do, to say, to act, and to be. Everything that we do, what we think, what we feel, what we say, how we behave, they all have to match. And the way it matches, that it has to be so that it is supporting us to be the best that we can be. And so it was such a powerful and a really important topic for me, and it is one of the reasons why we did start Empowered Virtual Services. And thank you everybody for joining us today. And before we go, though, let me just announce that our registration is still ongoing for our event tomorrow. So we have the EVS Confidence Boost workshop tomorrow, and where we will be sharing tools and techniques to further develop our mindset and motivation to assist us in our online careers. So whether you're a virtual assistant, a freelancer, a remote worker, or a work from home professional, sometimes we just need that boost of confidence so that we're able to really shift our mindset and be able to stay motivated so that we are to be a successful, to be that successful individual we want to be. So that is for tomorrow, and you know, our registration's there, and we will share the link in our comments. So please, if you haven't registered yet, please do so. Visit our Facebook and Instagram accounts to know more about it. And yes, so that's it for today. Thank you again so much for watching. Maraming salamat to everybody who's joined us here on Facebook as well as on Kumu. Thank you, and we hope that you have a great weekend. Bye.